Sherry, you ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Village Board meeting of Tuesday, September 10, 2013. It is now 7 o'clock. Ms. Sherry, can you call the meeting, call the meeting to order, and can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Boy, I'm rusty at this.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let me get back in. Can we get the roll call, please?
Trustee Kilpatrick.
Present.
Trustee Pierce.
Present.
Trustee Rita.
Present.
Here.
Trustee Bjork.
Present.
And Trustee Gutierrez.
Present.
President Julian is absent.
Okay, under number 4, any presentations tonight?
There are none.
Okay, under number 5, public comments and questions. Please, if anyone would like to address this board, come up to the podium, state your name and your address. And in order for us to adjourn by 9, we'd like to keep about a 3-minute rule, please. So if anyone would like to address the board, can you please come on up and state your name?
My name is Thomas Teskey. I live in Mount Prospect. This concerns the traffic ticket that I got. I'm looking at the instructions. It's still a bit beyond me. If you'll excuse me, just give me a minute. I'm looking at how it's supposed to, check is supposed to be made out. I'll just give you an example. I'll just pass this around and have them look at it.
Is this a red light camera ticket?
Yes, sir.
Medical bills. We'll see.
See, saying he has medical bills?
I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, I think everybody has looked at it.
If I'm looking at the instructions and the way I interpret it, there isn't enough space for making out the check to Westchester.
I'm sorry, I didn't, can you repeat that again?
I'm supposed to make out this. I'm supposed to make out the check to Westchester, and I have to type because my handwriting is just horrible.
Okay.
So do I get to use two lines if I have to put the whole?
I don't know why your check reads to Resurrection Healthcare.
That's the nursing bill for my old man.
Okay, so you're giving us that as an example of how you would write
Yes,
the
sir.
check?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I understand
You're
what
saying you don't
doing.
have enough room on the line to type?
Type out the check for Westchester,
Okay.
according to what I see on the instructions.
So then
Well,
it's too many letters
I
for
could
that line.
suggest you put VIL, period, of Westchester. That should be able to fit on that line.
Hold on, we'll write it for him.
Why don't we just, if he has blank check, just write it.
VIL as an abbreviation for village.
Understood.
Okay? And then of Westchester,
That should
right?
fit on that space.
Thank you.
Okay?
In my judgment, this whole thing of traffic light cameras is very unethical. A lot of people are, I consider, responsible drivers. I've said my piece.
Did you get a chance to look at the video?
Yes, sir, I did.
You have the ability to contest that, sir.
As I remember it, I don't go through on the red light. That goddamn light was green.
Well, if you feel that it wasn't justifiably given to you, there is a line item that you can check, and there's a court that we do on Saturdays, if I'm not mistaken, and that you can come and state your case to the adjudicator, and they'll look at the video with you.
It's already been, I already saw it here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the board? Going once, twice? All right, under number 6, is there any public hearings?
No, there are not.
Going under number 7 on the consent agenda, would anyone like anything pulled before we go anything further? Otherwise, I would like a motion and a second for the approval of the consent agenda from A, approval of record of bills, B, to the approval of the monthly reports, C, to the approval of the minutes dated August 13th for the committee and the board, and an ordinance executing the contract with Lexter, right?
Tricycle.
Tricycle Electric Motors for the purchase of 2 pumps, or is it 3?
3 variable.
3
frequency
variable
drives.
pumps. And also a resolution for the termination of the Thompson Elevator contract. And also for number F, to ratify the bylaws of the Environmental Sustainability Commission. Okay, any motion, second?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Nikki, second by Frankie? All right.
Roll call.
May we have the roll call, please?
Trustee Perry,
Aye.
trustee Rita,
Aye.
trustee Stecker,
Aye.
trustee Calcagno,
Aye.
and trustee Gattuso.
Aye.
Sorry, trustee York.
Aye.
Okay,
Trustee Gattuso.
aye.
Motion passed.
Motion passes. Under number 8, the active agenda. Under A, an ordinance waiving the competitive bid requirements, approving the purchase of the Capco crack filler for the materials from Sherwin Industries, Inc., for the amount of $18,000.
Mr.
motion?
Chairman, we need a motion to waive the Committee of the Whole requirement. This was not on the Committee of the Whole agenda. This is a purchase for this crack filling material that we need to have in our supply so that the street repair work can proceed, and it wasn't on your Committee of the Whole.
May we get a motion?
A motion. Second.
Motion by trustee Yurkovich, seconded by trustee Stecker. Okay, may we have,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Anyone opposed? Okay, if not, we're looking for a motion for that, for the waiving of the competitive bid process.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion made by trustee Stecker, second by trustee Perry. May we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Rita,
Aye.
trustee Stecker,
Aye.
trustee Yorkovich,
Aye.
trustee Calcagno,
Aye.
trustee Perry,
Aye.
and trustee Gattuso.
Aye. Moving on to number B on the active agenda. Motion second for a resolution accepting the bids and authorization to execute a contract with Globe Construction for the 2013 50/50 sidewalk program. I believe this was the only bidder, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was.
And this also was not on the Committee of the Whole, so you'll need a motion to waive that requirement.
Okay,
Motion to waive the requirement. So moved.
motion by trustee Stecker, second by trustee Yurkovich.
sorry.
Okay, all right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
I'm just curious, as to when did we put the bid out? The original one, I know this is the second time.
Dave?
The second bid opening was September 4th. We bid that out at the end of August, August 28th, I believe.
Okay. I know there's not much we can do about it now because it's too late in the season for, contractors. Their plates are full right now, but why aren't we bidding this out earlier in the year when there's contractors that haven't secured work yet and may be willing to come in and bid on this?
That's an excellent suggestion, and I guess this season kind of got away from me this year. I had hoped to bid it out sooner, but certainly earlier
I mean,
next
usually
year.
if you're bidding this out prior to spring,
Yes,
there's a lot of contractors that may still be available looking for work.
that's correct. Yes, I agree with you, and I'm sorry that it got bid out so late this season.
Also, Angelo, we did have a crack filler and stuff, did we not?
No, I'm talking about the sidewalk.
No, the sidewalk.
I'm sorry, the sidewalk replacement, we usually tend to go out to bid around this time of year with this
Yeah.
anyway.
I think
You-
last year
Usually
we went
it's
out to
done
bid in July, I recall.
You know
This
what,
year
I
it was
would-
about a month later.
I'd like to reiterate what he said, because I think was it last year that we ran into the problem where they came in, but they were trying to fit us in between everybody else. So it was, they were digging them up, then it was 2 weeks, and then we kept getting caught in between because they were spread too thin. They put in the bid, but they were spread really thin. Where
Most
if you get
vendors have
somebody,
their work by the beginning of summer
Yeah.
lined up.
Truly, and
Yeah.
also at the end.
we've talked about that with streets too.
Right, and
Yeah.
we'd like to go out in December for bids for the streets, that's even better. But sometimes when the contractors get towards the end of their season, a lot of them end earlier, they like doing these things, they usually push these off later in the season. 'Cause
Well, that's
those are-
fine, but you might get some competitive bidding earlier.
So they
I
can
don't
lock
understand.
up
When
the
they do the
work.
work is, not as much of a concern as getting some competitive bidders.
Yeah, the time of the year isn't as important as the time of the bid, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We
I
could put
agree.
the,
What is the cost to the resident?
$68 per square.
So it went up about $5,
Yes,
better than the last bid.
yes, yeah, the Globe dropped their bid about $5,000, so it's more favorable.
And Globe's been done a few of our sidewalk replacements, and they've always done a really nice job, but,
We had them last year as well, yes.
yeah, they've always done a great job. I've done some projects with Globe in the past, and they've always done a fantastic job with us, so. All right,
Where are we?
All right, we're still on the motion to waive the committee of the whole.
Motion for a second?
No, we have
We
that
have
on the
it.
floor. If you're ready to vote, you can just call for the vote.
roll call,
All those in favor?
Just acclamation will be sufficient.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Okay, now the main motion is up for a mover and a seconder.
so moved.
Second.
Sorry.
Ladies first. Motion by trustee Rita, seconded by trustee Calcagno. Okay, may we have a vote?
Trustee Stecker?
Aye.
Trustee York?
Aye.
Trustee Calcagno?
Aye.
Trustee Perry?
Aye.
Trustee Rita? Aye. Trustee Gattuso?
Aye. All right, that carries, motion carries. Under 9, the manager's report. Janet?
Okay, just a few things to note this evening. Just wanted to do a little wrap-up on the back-to-school event that was held last Friday. It was a great event, a huge turnout in the park. It was a perfect night for it. The Park District hosted Radio Disney and a free swim, and the village contributed a movie in the park, Finding Nemo, in the end. We did receive a nice thank you from the Park District today for partnering with them on that event, and it's a great time had by all. Just several hundred kids out there, I think. What do you think, Tom?
It was crowded.
Yeah, it was a very nice event, and we hope to get a huge turnout like that again next year for the Park District and the continuing partnership between the organizations. I'll let Chief Adams speak more in his report, but reminder that tomorrow is the anniversary of 9/11, and we are having 2 events tomorrow. A bell ceremony, which I'll let Chief Adams talk about, at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and at 6 p.m. at the Memorial Fountain, we're going to have a musical celebration of our heroes. It'll be both choral music and some inspirational thoughts by various speakers, and we anticipate that to culminate in a candlelighting ceremony in memory of all who lost their lives in that event. And just a matter of record, we will be scheduling our originally scheduled October 8th board meeting to Thursday, October 3rd, and that will be noticed appropriately. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Under the attorney?
Yes, I have one item. For the next meeting, I would like to add to the agenda and ask that this be placed on the consent agenda and ordinance amending the village code. This is in conjunction with item F on the consent agenda, the Environmental Sustainability Commission. I'd like to have the village code amended to provide the items that we talked about at the last committee of the whole meeting, the composition of the board, the terms, what constitutes a quorum. I'd like that all codified in the village code, so I will have an ordinance on the next agenda and ask your permission to put it on the consent. So,
Everyone
I'm
concur?
fine with it.
great. That's part 2 of item F. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Board members, reports. Anyone?
I'll tell you, in EDC, we've still been talking about the business survey, beautification projects. We have an upcoming summit meeting, and it basically took up the whole hour and a half.
Good. Nikki?
ETSB is scheduling a meeting for the 25th, Greg? Is that at 2 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, 25th, 2 o'clock.
Celeste?
Nothing.
Nothing. Tommy?
CAB has a meeting tomorrow at 7 in the community room.
Ange?
Just a reminder, Saturday, we have the e-recycling. Anybody's welcome to come out and so volunteer some time. That's it.
Also, John, our new chief, welcome to you. It's the first week under your belt yet, and you're still here.
I'm still here. And yesterday was officially my first Monday, because I was off the first Monday, because it was so it was a good thing. But yesterday was truly a Monday, so it's a long day.
Good.
It's all good, it's all positive.
Thank you. Jimmy?
I have a-
That's your turn.
In your packet, there's a monthly report, it was provided by Lieutenant Jeff Mersch, who addresses arrest reports, citations, and calls for service, such as alarm calls. We did have a few cars that were broken into last week off of Roosevelt Road, south of Roosevelt, on Mandel and on Evers. They were unlocked motor vehicles. So we put a Nixle alert out. Nixle is a free source of information that's available to the residents if they subscribe to Nixle. And Greg put out a Nixle alert to remind people to, report suspicious activity in their neighborhoods, leave their car doors locked, don't leave valuables in their car. We did recover an iPad in the south suburbs that was taken from one of the motor vehicles. Because someone that had already purchased it from somebody off the street who was probably responsible for the burglars. They moved through the village. We're going to put a newsletter, information in the newsletter about parking your vehicle, safety, things of that nature. So if you haven't subscribed to Nixle, I urge you to subscribe, because that's where we'll be posting some of the information that's relevant as it's fluid throughout the village. That was the only items of any significance that has taken place within the residential area that was made aware of since I've been here. I did meet with the Police and Fire Commission last week, introduced myself. They are planning to give an exam for the rank of sergeant. I believe there's 14 eligible candidates. I just put the eligible candidates on notice this week in writing for them to respond to me so I can pass it on back to the commission as who's going to take the test. They'd like to have a head count of who's interested in taking the exam. I have my first mandatory meeting this Friday at 7 a.m. in this room right here of all the sworn members of the police department to let the officers know, the rank and file, what I expect from them, what they can expect from me in the future. Starting a month after that, we'll be having regular staff meetings with the rank and file. This Friday is the first meeting that's mandatory of all the sworn members of the police department. Myself and the mayor and village president last week attended the Hispano Fest in Melrose Park. He was invited by the village president, Serpico, from Melrose Park, so I took a police car there and represented our village. It's a town where I grew up in, so I was familiar with some of the people in the neighborhood. It's kind of nice to go back into the village. So we were well represented at the Village of Monmouth Park in this Faneuil Fest. Other than that, at this point, that's all I have to offer.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Jimmy?
As Janet had mentioned, tomorrow we have the 9/11 ceremony starting at 8:30 with the quote-unquote bell ceremony, which basically 4 rings of the bell 5 times symbolizes the firefighter line of death, and we actually do those at the time that at the unfortunate time that the each building was hit. So that part of the ceremony actually happens twice, and it's actually very touching with speakers in between. And then again in the evening, the celebration of heroes starting at 6 p.m. Also, the fire department is selling breast cancer awareness fire department T-shirts. 100% of all proceeds go to breast cancer awareness. They're $20 each. They're available in the front office in dark blue or navy blue or pink. Also, they're available through the firehouse through firefighter Jason Sudaz. And then lastly, time is flying by. We've got actually Fire Prevention Week coming up October 6th through the 12th. On October 12th, the fire department will be hosting our annual open house from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This year's theme is Get Cooking with Fire Safety. We're planning some good demonstrations, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. We'll have a good showing, and we'll have a good crowd.
Thank you, Jim. Ann?
Good evening. Try to keep it quick for you here. We are proposals as requested in the RFP for our general ledger software are due back this coming Friday. Actually had one turned in today, and the conference Janet and I attended had an opportunity to speak with some vendors that plan on responding to our request for proposals. There's a lot of great tools in the market, so I'm really excited to see with the see what's included in the proposals that come back to us, and what kind of tools we can use here to increase our efficiency and customer service. Putting the final touches on the audit report. Hope to have that back to the auditors so they can create the final report and have that presented back to us, either our next September meeting or maybe our first October meeting to get that on the board. So that's about it.
Thank you. Greg?
Yes, over the last couple of weeks, as you know, we're moving as fast as we can on the Norcom transition, and I should have some better information for you on Thursday after we sit down with Norcom as well as our CAD vendor. With regards to the microwave, the parts are on order, and they've come out several times. We've done site visits on all sides, but nothing specific to report in terms of a timeline yet, but I should be able to get you something by Thursday after we sit down with them. On another note, Molly had asked me to reach out to everybody here as well as the village to let them know about the event in October. She advised at this point there's only one food vendor. She is looking to get more, so if you know of any vendors that are interested, please put the word out. So, yeah, that's going to be Saturday, October 5th.
Thank you, Greg. Dave?
Thank you, Paul. Public Works has been active lately, wrapping up the in-house pavement patching. We will be recommencing the pavement patching on Bristol and Derby when Central Blacktop comes back into town to start milling pavement on Newcastle north of Roosevelt. We have begun crack filling now with some material that was left over from last year's program. We're crack filling streets that were resurfaced in 2010. We've completed the brush collection last week. We're at the tail end of water main testing on High Dorn and High Ridge Charles project in preparation for that road reconstruction there. We're currently exercising valves throughout the village, water main valves, and also replacing B-boxes that are affected by the road construction north of Roosevelt Road on Newcastle, Hull, and the Strand.
Good. Thank you. Melissa?
Good evening. Just so that everybody knows, one business opened last month, in the month of August, and that was Accelerated Physical Therapy. They're located in the same strip center as the Dunkin' Donuts at 31st and Wolf. Also, most interior remodel permits that have been applied for as a result of Follett relocating here to the towers. We've gotten most of those permits in and done the initial plan review on most of them already, except for one. Our department issued 104 permits last month and performed 160 inspections for a construction value of just over $2.5 million. And just to keep everyone aware, we did the first round of interviews for the part-time plan reviewer inspector position last week. That's it.
Thank you. Sherby, anything? Nothing this evening? Under President's report, President Puglia is in New York, and he's attending a 911 ceremony there that he'll be speaking at, so I'm substituting for him tonight. I understand that we have our stuff going on this week, tomorrow and stuff, so if anybody can get out there. I know 8:30 is a little hard for us to get out, we work, but if we can just take 5 minutes out of our day to come and just spend it there at the fountain for the memorial, that would be nice. Again, the Oktoberfest around the fountain, I do have 2 vendors for you, Greg, so I will finish filling out those reports for you, okay? So I'll get them to you. Other than that, I don't have anything. I don't believe there's an executive session tonight,
No.
and everyone's waiting for this. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Wow.
Seconded.
Jeez, God. Motion by trustee Rita, seconded by trustee Stecker. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's move right into the committee of the whole.